Hi everyone, Laura Smothers Chew with Befriended Heart here, and I wanted to just do a Q&A for you guys today. But first, I wanted to talk a little bit about how I've been involved in my local community, specifically with Alzheimer's recently, and wanted to tell you about the Walk to End Alzheimer's, which actually happens every September, and it's done through Alzheimer's Association, so it's throughout the country. And if you want to see people who are affected by Alzheimer's, whether they have it, they have a loved one that has Alzheimer's, or they're taking care of someone with Alzheimer's, you will definitely not feel alone in this walk. And I just wanted to show you this nice flower that I got. So this yellow one means that I am a caregiver for someone with Alzheimer's, and in this case it would be my dad. So nice little stem here as well. So if you are feeling like you want to find other people that are affected by this disease, whether directly or indirectly, I highly recommend going to their Walk to End Alzheimer's. And you can go to the Alzheimer's Association website to find the location for next year. And also, going into the Q&A, I attended the Alzheimer's Foundation of America event, and I was fortunate enough to sit next to a caregiver who had actually brought her husband, who had been diagnosed with early dementia, and the wife suspected it was Alzheimer's, so that's why she was there at the conference. And so she asked me a question that I have gotten a couple of times, and I wanted to just share with you guys the answer. So the question was, what is the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia? So basically the easy way to think of this is that Alzheimer's is a type of dementia, just as a dog is a type of pet, right? So there's multiple types of dementia. And dementia is actually a term for a collection of symptoms. So whether that be anything from severe memory loss to personality change to lack of personal hygiene, there's a lot of different symptoms that are involved in dementia, and I'll mention that in a future video. But I wanted to just make that distinction. And so Alzheimer's is actually the most common form of dementia. And next, as far as commonality, would be vascular dementia, followed by Lewy body dementia, Parkinson's, and finally frontal temporal dementia. So I will cover these in future videos, but I did want to let you know that the reason why you see a lot of news stories on Alzheimer's and everyone's trying to figure out a cure for Alzheimer's is because it is the most common. But I do really feel that people with other types of dementia and their families need just as much support. So what I'm going to try to do is, if I do see articles on the research or any improvements found with the other types of dementia, with the exception of Alzheimer's, I'm happy to share that with you all. So I also wanted to, a question that I actually brought up at the conference, I said there are some commonalities between Alzheimer's and frontal temporal dementia, for example. So how would a family know what the difference is if the symptoms look very similar, as far as behavior goes? And so the doctor answered that a CAT scan is probably the best way to tell the difference of which dementia is which. So it's not the best answer, and unfortunately I'm sure you've seen that everyone is just really struggling to get a cure, or at least try to treat this disease better than we already are. Really what is trying, I guess, the attempt to help this disease and dementia is really, medication. They also talk about lifestyle changes too, which again, I'll cover in a future video. But I did also want to mention in this video that there are reversible dementias. So lots of different things can cause the symptoms of dementia. It may not actually be Alzheimer's or any of the other types that I listed earlier in this video. So a lot of different things can cause this, as I mentioned. So vitamin deficiency, problems with the thyroid, even major cases of depression, infection as well, and any of the medication interactions. So you could probably find a full list. I can actually include the link to the list of reversible dementias, but I highly recommend that you go to a doctor and rule out the reversible dementias, just so, that would be a wonderful result if it wasn't actually one of the dementias that cannot be cured. So again, I highly recommend going to your doctor and ruling out those reversible dementias. And a lot of different things can cause this. So make sure that you get, the biological workup, the labs, go to a psychologist, all of those things before you start moving forward thinking that you have Alzheimer's, vascular dementia, Lewy body dementia, Parkinson's, or frontal temporal dementia. So thank you so much for joining today. And I did also want to tell you that if you wanted to learn more about me personally, or why I started Befriended Heart, I'm happy to say that I have been featured in an interview by ideamensch.com, and I will include that link as well below if you want to learn more. So I would love it if you subscribe to my channel and like this video, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Bye.